We are talking with Scott Kellum from SixCentSports.com, SUBR contributor John Ryan from JohnRyanSports.com, and professional NFL handicapper Vanessa Walsh, previewing Week 8 in the NFL here on the SBR TV NFL Experts Roundtable. The next game we're going to talk about is Dallas and Philly. Now, both Scott and Ryan and John Ryan, you guys both said that you want to talk about this game, and I'm curious to see what you like about this one. Last week, Philly got a great cover over Washington. The books reportedly got no action on Washington, which surprised me a bit, considering how bad of a bet Philly was. But they did get the cover in that one, and Philly is usually good after a bye week with Andy Reid. They're a 3.5-point home favorite. So this is another line I'm not sure what I would do here, but I'm interested to see what you have to say about it. John, I assume you like Dallas.
Yeah, I do. I like Dallas quite a bit. As I mentioned earlier in this show, and I guess for the last 2 weeks, I think Dallas is the second best team in the conference. Tony Romo's playing with just a totally different attitude this year. It's almost like he realizes that, hey, I'm getting older and I got to get this done. And I think the team is rejuvenated by that. You're going up against a Philadelphia team. Yeah, they're coming off a bye, but they have a lot of holes on that team. And I think what you'll see is the Dallas defense will just dominate this entire game. The Eagles still have that massive trouble with the A gap on the offensive line, and I think Dallas is just going to bring a load on defense. So based on that reason and the fact that Dallas can run the ball, that is the one thing that has really stood out. That Dallas can run the ball. The Eagles have, for years now, have not been able to stop it at all. The Eagles are very weak and suspect in the middle linebacker area. And I see Dallas controlling both lines of the scrimmage, and I think the wrong team is favored.
All right. Well, Scott Kellum from SixCentSports.com also identified this as the one game he wanted to talk about. I'm interested to see why that is. What side do you like here, Scott?
Yeah, I agree with John. I like Dallas as well, and I agree with him. I think they're, I guess I haven't thought about where they lie in the NFC, but I think they're one of the best teams in the NFC. I think they're a much better team than Philadelphia. Both teams are about equal in offense. They're both play about 0.7 yards per play better than the opponents that they have faced. But the difference here lies on the defensive side. Dallas is well above average against the rush and the pass. Philadelphia is actually below average in both those categories. They'll probably play better than the numbers. I'm assuming they're going to get fairly healthy this week. I haven't checked the injury report yet, but with the bye, they should be getting a little bit healthier. But Dallas applies to the situation that I talked about last week a little bit. They're a 500 team. They're coming off a win. There's some other parameters to that, but teams that finally get to 500, this is a big game for them now because they can go above 500 and start to make a move. That situation went 3-0 last week. Applies again this week. It's now 76, 34, and 2. I make the number here about 2.5 for Philadelphia. So I think there's some value to Dallas as well. Dallas also, if they're getting more than 3 points, would apply to a fundamental rushing situation of mine this year. That's 3-0. Over time, that's now 161, 86, and 8. So you got situations that apply to Dallas. There's value applying to Dallas. If you look at the numbers at the line of scrimmage, Dallas is the better team. Dallas has won here in the last 2 years. Philadelphia's coming off a bye. I think I saw somewhere they're 12-0. Andy Reid's 12-0 off the bye. But I would also argue Andy Reid, I think his teams were never 1-4 or 2-4 either. So this is not a normal year for Andy Reid and his teams. And given this year, I think I saw something the other day where teams off the bye this year are 3-9 straight up. So because they have to have, I think, 4 down days during the bye. So who knows what the bye really means to teams this year. It'll help Philadelphia, I'm sure, in some sense because they are getting a little healthier. But I think Dallas is a better team here. And Michael Vick's the kind of quarterback that, with his talent, he can obviously exploit anybody in any team at any time. But I think when Michael Vick takes advantage of his talents is against teams that aren't quite as good. He can do a lot of things. But he's going to be playing a Dallas team that's going to score. And when they score, that's going to put pressure on Philadelphia to score. He's also going to face a Dallas team that has a lot of good defensive players, which is going to force him to be more of a quarterback than just the athletic Michael Vick. And I think that's where Vick runs into problems. I just think Dallas is a better team. They're getting a bunch of points, and I think they're at play here.
All right. Well, maybe you guys are onto something. Vanessa Walsh, what do you want to make this a consensus here? Dallas plus 3.5?
I'm going to have to go against the grain, of course. I like the home team, Philadelphia, even though they are favorites. But I think minus 3 points is pretty reasonable. So not to forget to mention that Andy Reid is 9-2 against the spread after a bye week. So
yeah,
we'll rock with the Philadelphia Eagles.